everybody. So we are in the new and improved garden. There's so many more projects that are going to be happening this summer, but we've got chairs now, or I've got chairs now. So I'm going to be refinishing them, make them pretty, make them fit my style. But for now they're good. I'm waiting until my mom gets here so we can do a little project together on that. She's going to be here less than 2 weeks. I think it's a week and a half now. But today we are talking all about ducks. I'm gonna give you all of the information I have, and keep in mind I'm still a newbie myself, but I know that there is quite a bit of controversy around keeping ducks and raising them on a farm. Especially people think that they're messy, that they're really, I think that's the only complaint that people have, is that they're a lot messier than chickens. And I'm telling you right now, that's not the case. So I'm gonna give you all the information I have. I'm gonna show you guys a book that I got that gives me so much information, like down to the perfect treats to give them in the summer and the winter and all that stuff. So I'm gonna show you guys that, and then I'm gonna show you guys what duck eggs look like. So we've only got about half the flock laying duck eggs right now, just due to the breeds. One of the breeds that I have is 2 weeks behind the other one. So we should be seeing the other breed start laying eggs in about a week. But that's everything that I'm going to show you in this video. So if you want to learn about ducks, if you're curious about getting your own ducks, keep watching. I'm going to give you all the information I have. I have not raised ducklings yet. I, being a first-time duck owner, was terrified of raising tiny little things. So I got teenagers. So I'm gonna go off of my own experience, based off of my own flock. I am by no means an expert, but when I try to research ducks, like barely anything comes up. So I feel like I've got a little bit of information, so I might as well put it out in the world. And if you want ducks for yourself, I highly recommend it, especially as a first like a backyard homestead or a first farm animal. They're just really great to kind of ease your way into it. I feel like they're even more of a gateway farm animal than chickens are, because you know the whole thing with chickens, once you get one you end up with 20, and then you end up with a whole farm of different animals like Noah's Ark. I feel like ducks, if people can get past the messiness, quote unquote, then I feel like ducks are even a better gateway farm animal. So that's all we're going to be talking about today. First things first, I wanted to show you guys the duck eggs that I've been collecting. So I have 2 different breeds. I have a very small flock. I only have 8 ducks right now, and I have them split 4x4 into 2 breeds, which are Peking ducks and Cayuga ducks. So the Pekings are the classic stark white ducks that you see all over Instagram and everything, and then I also have Cayuga ducks, and they're all black. But in the sun, all of their feathers become iridescent. So they will change to colors of green, blue, and purple in the sun. They're beautiful. They're just beautiful ducks. And both of these are domesticated breeds, so they can't fly. Although they try to. They like to jump out of their pond, or they like to jump off the top of the slope and glide down. They're really good at gliding, but they can't fly. So they're actually all cuddled up in the clover right now. But yeah, so those are the 2 breeds that I have. They're really great breeds. The Pekings are the ones that have started laying already. Cayugas are about 2 weeks behind the Pekings. It's just the way the breeds are. So the Pekings lay really white eggs, and they're the classic duck eggs that you'll see at like farmers markets and stuff, because there isn't a whole lot of commercial duck eggs. And then once the Cayugas start laying eggs, those eggs are going to be so pretty. They start off as black eggs, and then as their laying season progresses, they fade from black to like an olive green to a white. So you can always kind of tell where they're at in their egg laying season, because they kind of do like a little, almost like a hibernation period in the winter before like spring laying season starts, and then it starts over. And so you can always see where they're at in the cycle because of the color of their eggs. And I love them because they don't need nesting boxes. Like chickens need nesting boxes. They need boxes to kind of curl up in and lay their eggs and sit on them. Ducks don't like that because they like to all sleep in a pile basically, and they just love being on the floor. So as long as they've got enough bedding to burrow in, they will basically lay their eggs wherever. They like corners. Now that they're getting used to, now that they know how their body works, they'll lay eggs in the corner. But it was really funny, the first egg that was ever laid, they had no idea. The first one that started laying eggs was one that I like to call Tiny Tina. She's the smallest little white duck, and she was the first one to start laying eggs, and she had no idea what was going on, and she just laid an egg right in the middle of the floor, and she's like, I don't know what this is, and just walked away. So that was always really funny. They like to bury them to keep them warm while they go out and do their thing, even if they don't plan on hatching it, even if they know that it's not fertilized. Yeah, so I'll show you the eggs that I have. About within another week or so, we should get the cayuga eggs, but right now I have Peking eggs, so I'll show you those. Okay, so I've got a little basket of them. I have been starting to eat them a little bit. I just love like homegrown eggs, because as long as you don't wash the eggs right away, they can last on the counter for a pretty long time. But once you wash them, they have to go in the fridge because they have like this membrane on the outside of them. And ducks, since they are waterfall, their eggs are a bit waxier than chicken eggs, so they have a whole different feel. It's almost like candle wax around the outside of the egg. But I'm going to show you some of them. They're all different sizes because they're still new to laying eggs. But so like the first time a duck will lay an egg, it'll be really misshapen like this because they're brand new at it. So obviously their bodies haven't caught up with that. On average, this is what they're gonna look like, at least the Peking ones. That's a really good shape and size. And then they will get as big as this. So this one's the biggest one I have. It's huge. But yeah, so calorie wise and nutrition wise, you can have one duck egg for every 2 chicken eggs. That's just there. So I actually have in this book, this amazing book, it's called Duck Eggs Daily. I got this from a used bookstore, so I don't know if this is still out in production. I don't know how old this book is, but I found it at our used bookstore here in Knoxville. It's huge. So I had to dog ear this section because it's literally the best thing ever. In this book, it gives you a complete nutritional breakdown of chicken and duck eggs. You can see the difference for everything. Their biggest difference is probably in the calories. Chicken eggs are 70 calories, but duck eggs are 130 calories. So they fill you up a lot faster. So usually if I have a recipe that calls for 2 chicken eggs, I'll just use 1 duck egg, and that's more than enough. And yeah, they're just great. Texturally speaking, they're basically the same as chicken eggs. I haven't really noticed a huge difference texturally. Taste-wise, they're just, I've heard a lot of people say they're more earthy tasting, almost like how tea is kind of earthy tasting, but to me they taste like really potent egg. It's almost like you're eating 3 eggs in one bite. They're just so potent, which is why you only want to use 1 duck egg for every 2 chicken eggs. But I haven't really noticed anything drastically different. They're basically the same as chicken eggs, they're just bigger. Their shells are a bit waxier, so when you're cracking an egg, They crack the same way, but they do have kind of a different texture on the shell than chicken eggs because they lay eggs usually around water. So all of their eggs are waterproof, which is why they have that waxy layer. Chickens don't lay eggs near water, so they don't have that waxiness to them. But that's basically it for eggs so far. The more I learn, the more I'll tell you guys. Okay, so if you're looking for reasons to get ducks, generally they're quieter than chickens. Girl ducks are louder than males, but overall they are quieter than chickens. They are generally a lot more resilient, they are a lot more disease resistant, and if they get hurt, a lot like our little Limpy, as long as you take care of them and you keep a good eye on them and make sure that it doesn't get infected, they heal on their own, and they're really strong and resilient in that way. Limpy twisted his leg about a week into having him, and now it is June and he is running around as if nothing ever happened. And really the only way that I can tell him apart now from the other ducks, because he doesn't have his limp anymore, is when he did hurt his ankle. In the process of healing, he did develop a little bit of angel wing, just on a couple feathers on one wing, because he was using his wings almost as crutches. And ducks can develop angel wing if they don't, like on dietary concerns, but also if they get hurt and they're trying to use their wings as legs. That can also happen. So he has a couple wings that just sit just out of position, and that's really the only way I can tell him apart now, because his limp is completely gone. And he just runs around and he's super happy. He's currently chasing the other male duck. They like to, all the girls like to play in the pond, and then the boys walk the perimeter and kind of make sure everything's all good, but then the boys also like to play tag. So there's no aggression between any of them. I've heard a lot of horror stories about people who have too many males in a flock and not enough females, and the boys will get really territorial and they'll start fighting. And I haven't seen any of that so far. I have 3 females for every male, so 2 boys, 6 girls. I haven't seen any aggression. They are very playful. They love playing with each other, and they love doing like little love bites and little snaps and everything, and they love chasing each other. But I have never once seen an ounce of aggression from these birds. They aren't broody. There's no real pecking order between them. They're a big old family. They're a big flock, and the only difference really is that the boys are the protectors and the girls kind of do whatever they want. Yeah, they're all playing in the pond right now. They're all literally diving and sticking their butts up in the air right now. So they love duck treats, and this book is just a wealth of information on what ducks can and can't eat, because I didn't know that they can't really do nightshades. They love tomatoes. They can eat the fruit of tomatoes, but they can't eat leaves or the stems or anything like that, which was very fascinating and really good of me to find out now before my tomatoes started growing. But they love things like watermelon. They love cucumber. They love strawberry. They love eating dandelions, dead nettle. I would give them Creepy Charlie. My go-to snack for my ducks, especially in the summer heat, is ice cubes and frozen peas. They love peas so much, and they're really high in niacin, which is a vitamin that they need. It's a supplement that they need. So now that they're older, The peas are more of a treat, and I do just keep them frozen because it gets to about, today's 85, so it's actually cooler, but especially the last couple weeks, it's been like 90 and upwards of 100 degrees, and so I'll just take a whole bag of frozen peas out, and I'll give them like, for 8 ducks, I get those little like frozen bags of peas from Kroger. They're like $1 a bag. I just pour out like maybe a quarter to a third of the bag on top of ice cubes, and the heat thaws them out before they eat them, so I don't have to worry about them like choking on frozen peas. But they love it. That's their favorite treat by far. Yeah, if they see, I have like this pan that is such an oddly shaped pan that I don't really use it very much, but it's perfect for ice cubes and frozen peas for the ducks. And they all form a little circle around it and they'll eat out of it. So I took video of that, so I'll put it here. So this book's really great because if there's ever anything like wrong with your ducks, if there's like an angel wing happening, or if there's bumblefoot, or if there's any kind of issue happening with your ducks, it's most likely talked about in this book, and they give you both natural and like medicinal ways to fix it, which is really great because I don't like doing medicine as much as I can. I like to do things as natural as possible, but sometimes like things are just like too much for natural stuff, like you need a vet's opinion on it. But anyway, so it gives you both of those options in this book, which I think is amazing. And then it also gives you a list, it gives you a checklist of foods to avoid. Like these are like better safe than sorry, kind of avoid these or limit these, and then these are absolutely avoids. And then they give you a chart on what to feed your ducks based on what season it is, because things have different effects on the ducks. And I just think that's amazing. I love checklists. I love visuals like this. I think it's amazing. So this is probably my favorite book ever. Not gonna lie. And then it goes into further detail. It breaks it down by season, gives you like a page and a half each on like what to feed them, what not to feed them, how it affects them, what's good for egg laying, what's good for this, what's good for that. I just love it so much. So I'll definitely see if I can put a link in my description. I'm not affiliated with that at all. I just found it at a used bookstore and it's my favorite book ever. So if you're looking at getting ducks, or if you just want to do some research for yourself, I just think that is an amazing book to have in your arsenal, especially because the world's getting a little crazy right now. And I have learned that it's just good to have books around. Like I have a lot of books about herbs, I have a lot of books about farming and gardening and homesteading, prepping. I never really thought of myself as a prepper, but in this day and age I feel like it's not bad to read about it, to like have that knowledge in the back of your head just in case. And I just think this book needs to be in that arsenal. It just needs to be on your bookcase, because someday you might go like, I wonder what it would be like to have a duck. That book is going to be your friend, and it goes through all about the duckling stage, what to do, what not to do, how to incubate your eggs, everything like that. It has all of that in there. I'm just not at that point yet, so I'm not going to talk about it in this video because I have no information to give on it because I know nothing. But yeah, so this is all about ducks.